Sea Kayaking Scotland, Oronsay and Colonsay, a 3-day circumnavigation and exploration of the islands. I'd been longing to return after decades to relive some privileged memories. However, there'd be a very special couple missing: Andrew McNeil, master piper, farmer and owner of Oronsay, and his lovely wife Flora. Earlier trips to Oronsay from Islay and Jura's west coast. In those days, Scottish island hospitality was sincere, as Andrew Oronsay, as he was known, met us on landing and presented us with a tray of eggs before saying a word. He also insisted on using seal cottage instead of tents or bivvy sheets and joining them for a wee dram in their home, where he chatted and played his chantler from his bagpipes till the small hours. A renovated seal cottage as it stands today, yet still familiar. Our current journey would afford stunning views as we carefully negotiate the myriad of amazing reef breaks off the exposed west side of both islands, but more of that to come later. Oronsay and Colonsay lie about 10 miles west of Jura, with the closest point to mainland Scotland over 20 miles east through the infamous Corryvreckan, and are exposed to the full might of unhindered Atlantic swell and weather, requiring careful planning to commit to such a trip. The usual journey is realistically a 6-hour-plus drive to Oban, while experiencing torrential rain this time as I pass through Tarbert and along Loch Lomond.
This could be a good weekend.
Grim weather through the Highlands, but incredibly blue and sunny as I arrive in Oban. With only 3 days for the entire trip, it required pre-packing the kayak and taking the ferry from Oban to Scalasaig on Colonsay. Kayaking clothing and paddle ready in the cockpit, I trolleyed the kayak onto the ferry as hand luggage and only needed to pay a passenger fare. A 2-hour 20-minute journey to Scalasaig as I take in the familiar sights sailing out southwestwards from Oban. Lovely views of the impressive Garvellics, but an unfamiliar angle than my usual view from sea level in the kayak, and the stunning paps of Jura's west coast in the distance. Changed and docked in Scalasaig, it was trolley time again to launch from the slipway alongside the ferry pier. Day 1, Scalasaig to Camp 1. Day 2, down the west side to Camp 2. Day 3, back to Scalasaig.
Absolutely.
After a long day journeying, Andy and I launched at 7:15 at night to paddle some 4.5 miles to make camp at Balnahard Bay, just short of Colonsay's northern tip.
No.
After a hectic day's travel, the paddle north in beautiful light gave us both time to relax and soak up the amazing views of Jura's west coast, which we discussed as another option for this trip.
Look at them all up there.
Weather systems were still settling down as isolated pockets of developing heavy cloud were still presenting their surprises.
The cloud's down on the paps. I think we'd have got wet if we'd done that Jura trip. Well, it makes its own weather, doesn't it? That's developed in the last 10 minutes, that. You can see where it's absolutely pouring out of that bit. You see the mare's tails hanging down? Yeah? Aye, good move, not going over onto Jura.
Fortunately, we chose well and were blessed with lovely evening sunshine.
Aye, you can feel it just coming down against us. Just that bit tide.
And a slight indication of tidal flow past this point.
Lovely that, Andy, man.
Finally, our chosen camp spot at Balnahard Bay and our GPS trace from this evening. A beautiful view from my tent above the beach, complete with rainbow remnants. With the camp set up, I enjoyed a satisfying cuppa. We'd taken the opportunity to eat earlier on the ferry. With the light gently fading, I decided on a pleasant walk along the beach to stretch the old legs after sitting all day. Then back to the tent to turn in for the night. I'd sleep well tonight after a long day. Early start this morning as another long day lay ahead, which was destined to be full of surprises. So after breakfast I took the opportunity of flying the drone for some aerial footage and to check out the swell off the west side. Andy had pitched his tent further away on the other side of the dry stream bed. He'd obviously been warned of my snoring. Balnahard farmstead, nestled in the flat centre at the northern end of the island. The giveaway swell foam trails moving north on the slight tide were a good indication that the forecasted 1.5 metre swell was indeed fairly accurate, as its ripples rounded the northern tip of the island. Returning to views of our calm sheltered beach and camp spot on the northeastern side. A need for haste now to drop the tents, pack the boats and set off on what was to be a 20+ mile paddle down the west side to our second camp spot on Oronsay's east side.
Why couldn't it be like this at 6:30, 7 o'clock?
The earlier cloud was burning off now, giving way to beautiful blue skies. This had the makings of a great day to come.
Absolutely cracking. The Rossa mud looks spectacular. Nice and craggy. Yeah, it wouldn't afford you much shelter though, that bit.
Heading to the island's northeastern corner, through crystal clear waters and blue sky, gave amazing yet familiar views north to Mull and east across to the Slate Isles, Scarborough and Jura. The swell's rippling effect rounding the northern end could be felt, increasing as we travelled closer.
Yeah, should be.
We started our search for viable safe passages through each successive reef section we encountered, paying close attention to the possibility of larger breaking waves.
Boomer. Whoa, look at this one. Woo.
Feeding off the swell's energy, this was going to be a cracking day's paddling.
Certainly right, that swell forecast. That was big enough for you. What a lovely start, man.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Some of these really impressive.
This west side is totally exposed to the unhindered might of Atlantic swell and sea conditions.
Probably as rugged as it gets.
Alright, there's nothing else out there. No, I'm just looking to see if there's a gap through there. I'm not sure there is. Doesn't it?
While I totally understand other sea paddlers may prefer settled conditions, seeking calmer water or staying further offshore, my preference is staying as close to where the sea's amazing energy is released, as swell rides over and around reefs, obviously with great regard to staying safe. With that emphasis on safety, strict observation must be paid to wave shape as they rise over reefs or drop into deeper water, indicating a possible route, and many more subtle observations to achieve position and safe timing.
Nice. Well, that was a good one. That outer reef's a stunner. Brilliant. No, that one wasn't going to break. I thought we'd have got you in the foreground.
As well as the incredible reef outcrops, Colonsay's west side has many impressive cliff sections and headlands to explore, closer in on less active days.
We're okay here, yeah. Look at that one.
Some of these reef breaks were truly spectacular.
There's some of these building up. Woo, look at that. Stonker. Paddle through, Andy. Yeah, that's the one. Push, get in. Woohoo! Brilliant, okay.
Andy was also enjoying these exceptional conditions.
Could be a bit of tide pushing us up that way. You see these coming in.
Ozone filled the air and foam covered the surface as the swell smacked against the cliffs and steep rocky shoreline to rebound into oncoming waves.
Super. Woo! And how?
We paddled on down the west, on through the foam to the undulating rise and fall of the Atlantic swell, in beautiful blue sunshine and superb scenery.
Spectacular. Look at this one.
Paddling across the deep-cut Killearn Bay and the tiny hamlet of Kayaking on its southern promontory.
Chunky. Oh, where's the bigger one's gone? Classic Atlantic swell. Just that long, lazy height on it.
The only cloud that showed any sign of possible rain today. How fortunate were we to be out here. The cloud was triggering thoughts of my old days flying around the sky on paragliders and paramotors.
You wouldn't want to be on a paraglider underneath it, that's for sure.
A great flock of seabirds swooping and diving was a great indicator of shoals of fish beneath the surface, presumably mackerel or other fish chasing sand eels, either way signalling a great feast. Pointing the camera below to try and capture diving seabirds, sadly missing them, but I did capture clouds of fish scales floating by, confirming the feeding. Initially no sign of a deeper channel and safe passage through this section just yet.
Just no line to get through. No line to get through. Oh, shame we couldn't have got in closer. A lot better than I remember. This. You know, it's more spectacular, and I was paddling it the other way as well, and probably further out.
One of my first ever major sea kayaking trips involved a section starting just north of Port Ascaig, passing Colonsay's west side to Mull without a landing, with another great old paddler, Lofty Wright.
Oh my God, look at this. Changing all the time, isn't it, the light?
Yet still more impressive waves colliding with the cliffs, sending waves and spray high into the air.
It's dropping into deeper water. Yeah, I don't know that we'll get to the next bit though. Shallow right across. Nah. That's taking the sting out of it. And this is deeper water here.
A long finger of submerged reef section stretching seaward was blocking our way south, demanding greater observation and attention to ensure safe passage.
Yeah, excellent. Couldn't wish for better conditions. The one behind. Yes, keep going.
I could see a line through this stretch. It was tight and required impeccable timing.
Those buggers could definitely catch you unawares. Haha.
Safely through, but I still kept checking behind for the odd rogue wave. Once inside, a bay opened up to the west side of Colonsay's airstrip area near Flora. I continued further south, working my way through between shallower reefs, where the outer reefs were taking the brunt of the swell, calming conditions inside. Amazed at the outer reef sections lying so far offshore, I looked for an area of drying reef to have lunch and fly the drone to investigate further. A beautiful calm oasis with its small colony of inquisitive seals occupied this area within this inner reef section. At last, the perfect lunch spot, and exactly situated to fly the drone for some impressive aerial footage, highlighting the incredible number of reefs along the west side of both Colonsay and Oronsay. Views into the tidal causeway area separating Oronsay from Colonsay. It's become necessary to produce a second video due to the sheer volume of great footage from this trip, making this video too long. So please join us in part 2, where we'll continue our journey and exploration south around Oronsay to camp at Seal Cottage, explore the historic buildings of Oronsay's Priory, and day 3 back to Scalasig. Many more sea kayaking videos available on my channel to enjoy. Click on the thumbnails for recommended content. Like, subscribe and share with friends. Thanks for watching.